Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the 2017 USGP Review Recap. It was a pretty decent race. Quite a few battles, quite a few overtakes. Towards the middle of the race, started to get a bit boring, but towards the end, since Verstappen and Vettel pitted, it got kind of exciting. So that was the main premise of the race. Let's get into the start. So the start was pretty good. Vettel got a huge getaway. It was absolutely fantastic. Just what he needed to do to keep his championship hope alive. Just get ahead of Hamilton. Unfortunately, Hamilton got by, but we'll get to that later, analyzing the overtake. But it was a really good start from Vettel. Not much more he could have done. He just got a really good getaway, minimal wheel spin. He did really good. Unfortunately, like I said, he wasn't able to hold that lead. But one thing I do have to address, for all the people that's saying Vettel moved over on Verstappen in Singapore, I don't agree with that. I think it was a racing incident. Nobody was at fault for it. It just, all three happened. But as you could see today, Hamilton pushed Vettel really close. He pushed him past the pit line. And that's what Vettel did to Verstappen, and everybody was saying, oh, Vettel did something wrong. But like I said, I think it's a racing incident. Nobody is at fault for it, but that's just my opinion. So right now we're going to be analyzing Hamilton's overtake on Vettel. So as you saw there, he just leaps up the inside, goes a bit deep. Vettel tries to get him back on the traction. Vettel tries to go round the outside. Doesn't necessarily work out. He tries to go for the switchback. Doesn't really work. Tries to go for the inside. Hamilton covers that off pretty nicely. Again, tries to get the traction down, but can't. So we're just going to be replaying it one more time so you guys can analyze it by yourselves. But I think it was a nice overtake, changed the course of the race. If Vettel held him up, I think Mercedes would have gone for the undercut, or Ferrari would have defended by going for their undercut for them. And then Mercedes could have done something wonky on strategy. But I think Hamilton still would have won the race. So next up, we're going to be analyzing Ricciardo's overtake on Bottas. It was a pretty good overtake. Added some action, as the first part of the race didn't really have a lot of action until the pit stops unfolded. So we'll wait for the clip to restart, and we'll do it again. So Ricciardo lunges up the inside, pushes Bottas out wide. Bottas comes back on the inside, but Ricciardo has better traction on the outside. Hopefully tries to get it on the inside in the next corner, but Bottas just swoops around him, gets the inside line, and Ricciardo's attempt was good, but wasn't good enough. Right there was pretty good action right there, and it kind of spiced up the race in the beginning, as, like I said, there wasn't much action in the beginning. So now we're going to be analyzing the strategy of Vettel's point. I think the undercut was the way to go. Initially, I didn't understand because I didn't think they could really go to the end based on the degradation of the soft tires, but eventually he did pit again. But I think it was the right thing to do right there. Undercut Hamilton, try to put him under a bit of pressure. And initially, I didn't understand why Mercedes didn't pit right away as him, or even try to undercut with Bottas and get ahead of Vettel. But that's just my look on it. Next clip, I guess. Now are my thoughts on Ricciardo and his retirement and his strategy. Unfortunately, Ricciardo retired. It's pretty bad. He could have, honestly, changed the course of the race. He was on super soft tires. That means he would have undercut Bottas. Would have caught up to Vettel, and he would definitely have to pit based on the degradation of the ultra softs. And then he would have chased down those guys, and he could have ended up P2 if he caught Vettel and passed. But obviously that didn't happen because his Renault engine let him down, unfortunately. But you know, that's just the way some things go. Next up, we have Lewis Hamilton's strategy, which I have no idea why he stopped so late. I thought once they found out Vettel got those fast laps, I thought they would have brought him in immediately. But obviously that didn't happen. They allowed Vettel to get so close. Obviously, he ended up winning, and it was all like fun and games. Ha ha ha, we won, cool. But they just let him get so close, and that could have changed the race. Again, I think even if that happened, Hamilton still would have won, but they just allowed it to get so close. Next up, we have Fernando Alonso retiring. He's looking really good. Looking really good. Fortunately, he had to retire. It's really sad. He's looking good for points. Having a really solid race. Again, like I said just a few seconds ago. Really good for points, but we shouldn't really be surprised, but it's always sad when we see Alonso retire when he's doing super good. Like I said, unfortunate it happened, but like Ricardo, these things happen. Now we're going to be analyzing the overtake of Carlos Sainz on Sergio Perez. So right now we just have to wait for the clip to restart. Carlos Sainz, I believe, got better traction out of turn 17, was able to hang it around the outside on turn 18, and just lunge down the inside on turn 19. A really good overtake, more downforce on that Renault, and just easy picking for Carlos Sainz on Sergio Perez. So next up we have Vettel and Verstappen pitting. Verstappen pitted later than everybody else because he started on the super soft tires and was approaching the pack quicker. I didn't understand initially why he pitted, but that allowed Vettel to pit and we still rejoin in front of him, got on fresh super softs. And this really helped spice the race up since it was kind of boring in the middle. And yeah, I'll get into the clips of where people overtake in the next section. So next up we have Kimi Räikkönen's overtake on Valtteri Bottas. A really good overtake again. Like I said, spiced up the race a bit. Kimi had fresher tires and was able to get back at Bottas. So let's review the clip now. So Räikkönen goes down the inside, locks up a bit, allows Bottas to try to get back on the traction, doesn't, covers off the inside line, and a really good overtake. Like I said, helps spice it up the race. Now we're going to be analyzing Sebastian Vettel's overtake. So he gets DRS, gets closed up to Bottas. Bottas goes towards the inside. Hope he gets held up by Van Dorn, but Vettel just swoops out and around the outside and gets the overtake done brilliantly. A beautiful overtake. So now we're going to be analyzing Max Verstappen's move on Valtteri Bottas. A really good move by the Dutchman. And Valtteri Bottas, bad day in the office, finished P5 compared to his teammates' first place. He needs to really pick up the pace in this last part of the season. So Max Verstappen goes down the inside, pushes Bottas out, gives the position back to Bottas, which I thought was really good. He goes around the outside, puts it in the inside, gets good traction, and gets ahead of Bottas and protects the inside line in the next corner. Now, we're probably going to do the most controversial part of the video, which is Max Verstappen's overtake on Kimi Räikkönen on the very last lap. I think Verstappen deserved the penalty. He did cut the corner, gaining a pretty decent advantage on Räikkönen, but I think the FIA has to be a bit more consistent on what track limits are. Obviously, cutting a corner and doing that is obviously bad, but I think if people can overtake by going around all four wheels off the track on the outside, I think they need to clamp down on that rule, figure out what's good and what's not good. It was a bit confusing to me, but, you know, the penalty was the penalty, and I can't really change anything, so, you know. Overall, I'd have to say it was a pretty decent race. Good action, good strategy choices, just an overall really enjoyable race. I hope we can have a next one like this in Mexico, so tune in to the next race. See you later. If you like this video, leave a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and most of all, thank you for watching.